We are here filling in the other gap with the sawdust wood glue mix. I wanted to say one thing. This was a pretty good sized hole. So what I did was we put little pieces of wood. So I didn't have to fill this entire hole with wood filler. We crammed little pieces of cedar that we had left over into the gap, just to fill in the gap. Kind of like what we do when we made the steps. We first, probably bigger than that piece. Oh wait, here's a piece. I crammed pieces like this size in there, and I filled in some of the gaps. And just like our steps, we threw rocks in just to fill in space. And then we piled in the dirt around the rocks, and you can't see the rocks. So that's what we did here. We put in a lot of the cedar pieces into the gaps, and then we crammed in these gaps with the wood filler. And another thing about the wood filler, are you ready to leave this little spot? Mm-hmm. So the pieces that we have, these shavings, were kind of big. So, are you able to shred? So what Shelly thought of was taking this with her hands and just picking it up. No, you can just use this. So we poured it in there. We poured that. Notice the pieces are kind of big. And then she just takes it and just shaves it like that with her hands. And that makes it much smaller. I honestly don't know if it matters. I just know that the thing I read uses sawdust, which is usually much smaller, and wood glue. I did notice that when we crammed in the slightly bigger pieces into this gap right here, that it really didn't matter how small it was because it just crammed in anyway. So it might have been better that it was bigger. So this is a mixture. This is somewhere between sawdust and the big size that's shavings from cutting a lot of cedar. Okay, I think we're good.
All right.